Perfect sound right there. Started it off. You know what it is. LA Icon right here. Shaka, Beyond the Label podcast. Make sure you guys get all your street essentials from shakaware.com. I am right here at legendary RGBA with another legend. Are you a Hall of Famer already? Did they already induct you?
Nah, not yet. I guess you need to wait a few years before you're eligible. You got to retire for X amount of years, and then maybe you come up for eligibility.
Well, for sure, future Hall of Famer Mikey Garcia.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
How's your day today so far?
Chilling. It's a nice day today. Just,
Chilling. The huaraches on?
Yeah.
I like it. You were literally chilling.
With the Shaka tea?
So, for those, with the Shaka.
Thanks for the gear, bro.
Oh, yeah, don't even worry. You have that coming all day. For those of you that are not familiar, Mikey is a 4-division world champ. Is it 40 wins or 42?
40 wins.
40 wins, 30 knockouts,
yeah,
right?
30 knockouts against two defeats.
2 defeats. Not that bad.
So,
obviously from a legendary boxing family. Everyone knows, you know what I'm saying, the Garcia.
We've been in boxing, I mean, probably over maybe 40 years plus years now.
You know what? I don't think I've ever heard anyone ask you, which of your brothers is the better boxer?
Well, the most accomplished was my brother Robert, to the fact that he was a world champion back in '98.
Of course, I'm familiar.
He held the title, defended the title, and my older brother Danny, he had, I think, a record of like 18-3 or 18-4, but retired early. He himself admits that he just didn't have the dedication, the discipline.
It takes a lot.
It does take a lot. It takes a lot, dedication, a lot of time, the discipline, of course. And he himself, says that he didn't have all of that, so he decided to retire a little early. But even for what he did, he obviously knew boxing, loved the sport, and he's also a trainer at the moment, also on the
Awesome.
in Oxnard. And
of course.
So I mean, boxing has been in the family, all my life, and most of all of their lives as well.
Mm-hmm. How's retirement treating you?
Oh man, I love it. I love having all this time to myself, allowing myself to dictate where I spend the time, who I give my time to. Whereas when I was actively fighting,
just training day in, day out.
90% of the time is for boxing. 90% of my time was dedicated to the sport because it takes a lot of dedication and discipline, like we've been talking about it right now. We've been mentioning. So any free time that I might have had was very limited, And now that I'm retired, it's almost playing catch up. Family, kids, my dad.
Absolutely.
And friends, and going to boxing fights without having to deal with the reporters and the media and being on diet, cutting weight.
Cutting weight, we already know, is a treacherous way to live.
It's horrible. It's the worst. It's the worst part of the actual boxing. I don't think there's any fighter that can tell you they love cutting weight.
Cutting weight.
Or, they enjoy cutting weight. No, nobody does.
And obviously
it's got to be done though, It's
yeah,
part of the
now
business.
with the different supplements and what have you, you could probably stay a little bit more hydrated, I guess. But when you first started, it was probably way different.
Yeah,
we didn't know that cutting water by drinking.
We had different methods. I don't know if we can just consider them old school methods, but it's the methods that my dad had seen through previous trainers and different,
and it worked.
Camps, and it worked. Does it still work? Sure, it works. I mean, I was able to become world champion twice, and I was undefeated.
Facts.
My brother was world champion.
Yep.
Fernando Vargas was world champion twice under my dad's tutelage, and using those techniques from the past, right?
Of course.
But it's tough. It's very difficult to do. We started to learn different techniques, different methods that work without punishing the body as much or without dehydrating the body for so long. And I felt better, and it also worked. Become a champion multiple times, and had some good success. So I can't really say that one is better than the other, but I do think that this more recent, development and advancements have helped. Obviously, supplements and different techniques have helped the fighters hydrate better, quicker, and also cut weight, more efficient
Efficiently.
without harming the body as much.
Yeah, because I remember seeing you in an interview recently where you said on one fight, although you got the KO, you almost didn't make it to the damn fight.
Oh yeah.
And then in another instance, you foul out in
Yep.
the jacuzzi.
Yeah. No, it happens. Like I said, that was back in in the
And the
day.
horrible cutting days.
The bad days.
Yeah.
You go through it. A lot of fighters go through it. Even now, even though you're doing it in maybe a more modern technique and way of cutting weight, but fighters will still cut drastic amounts of pounds in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And that still leads to possible, injuries or fainting.
Absolutely. Which
stuff
could
like
lead
that
to more injuries.
can lead to other injuries. And it's still there. I mean, things like that still happen, but at least from my perspective, we've been able to change it enough to where the fighters eliminate a lot of those risks. We can eliminate a lot of that risk while cutting weight by doing, the right supplements and the right technique at the right time, give the body enough time to cut weight and enough time to recover, to hydrate.
Mm-hmm.
And that tries to eliminate all those risks.
Would you say that it would take a tougher boxer to go through the past regiment?
I mean, at the time, that's all we knew. So there's no other option. So you better fucking do it. Sack up and do it. That's the way it was. We had the sauna suit on almost every day after training. We'd be hitting the bags with it. We sometimes even sparring a little bit with it. And that's what we knew. So there was no other option. Nowadays, if you get a kid, young fighter that's only learned the new way or the more modern technique,
and you
try to put them back into the old style, they probably wouldn't do it. They probably wouldn't make it. They'd be complaining and take that shit off. Like, hey, dude, you're stupid. Like, you're dumb for doing this. But at the time, that's all we knew.
No, absolutely.
You can talk to my brother when he did it. He had some bad, weight cuts, and he probably had it worse than I did. I was fortunate to not have to deal so much with the cutting weight. I was always pretty comfortable in my weight. I didn't walk around too heavy.
No, yeah, you stayed at it after.
I stayed in the gym, and my weight was, I kept my weight off. But there's always a little bit of weight that you have to cut, and that's what I had to do. My brother had it more difficult, and I mean, I know Fernando Vargas had it difficult because they would gain a lot more weight in between fights. So like I said, if you get one of the younger kids right now that have only learned the newer modern way of doing it, put them back in the old technique, and they won't be able to do it. So not to say that they're not tough or tougher, but it's just not necessary anymore, or you don't feel like you need to do that when you can do it in this manner, in this way. So they probably give up and like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. Take this off,
I feel it.
What's your day-to-day like now in retirement?
I get up in the morning, take my sons to school, go to my dad's for coffee, breakfast with my dad. Then I go around running my errands for the day. If we're working on a house that we're remodeling for a flip or for a rental or whatever, take care of those things. My kids don't get out till 2:30. That's when I pick them up from school. So I have some hours in between to handle my day. Then on other days when I have other things or events or engagements of that nature, I'll just have, mom pick them up, and I got to handle stuff. Other than that, once I'm done, like after this, once I'm done, I'm going to pick up my kids. They're at haircut right now. I had an appointment with them at 2, so my dad's taking them right now.
Easy peasy.
Pick them up, take them to get some pizza, get some food or something for lunch, hang out. That's it.
Do you spend any time with like your day one friends from back in the day?
Yeah, we still hang out. In fact, this weekend, one of my friends came over to visit with his dad on Sunday.
Sick.
We try to go out and travel with my friends. Often not everybody's available every single time.
Of course.
Work or family or whatever. But whenever time allows it, we try to always hang out. I got friends from junior high, still from junior high, and we still hang out. In fact, we're gonna go next month over to Mexico, to Mazatlan, together for a wedding that we got invited at.
Malacon.
So we're gonna go check that out. Never been. I'm excited to go for my first time. I want to bring the banda right there on the beach. I know they're having a lot of issues with that right now, but
Do it
hey,
before
we
it's
support
too
the banda.
late.
We support the banda.
Yeah.
That's what Mazatlan is known for, so we better keep it.
That's right.
That's right.
Anybody that doesn't like it, go vacation somewhere else, man. There's other beaches in Mexico.
For
you can go
real.
vacation, peaceful, quiet. Mazatlan probably ain't the one.
I respect it.
Sheesh.
I
Right?
got it. It's the boardwalk. It's
That's
the
how it
famous
is.
boardwalk.
That's
how it
It
is.
has to go crazy right there.
So
and
I'm
it's
excited
not
for
even going
that.
crazy. It's traditional.
It's tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year I did go on vacation with my family to Italy
Beautiful.
for spring break,
I
and
haven't
then
been there yet. I've been a
it's
lot
beautiful.
of places, not
It's
there yet.
beautiful.
How was the flight?
Well, with my kids, we took business class, so you're pretty chilling. You get to lay down like a bed. They treat you nice, drinks, food.
What airline did you take? Air Italy or something?
But I don't even remember, bro. Honestly,
It's
was
just
it?
because I want to
forget what it
go
was.
and I'm just
take
5-6 hours is cool on the plane, but 12?
Yeah, it could be
That's
tough.
a long time. bro.
Take if you can take business class, highly recommend it. Not only are you traveling in style, but because you're fully rested, because you do sleep well and everything. Once you get there,
You're good.
You're good. You're good to go all about your day. You don't feel that jet lag,
Groggy.
tiredness of being all stuck. So we did the same thing when we went to in London with my dad 2 years ago. My brother was out there with AJ, and I took my dad for a few days to go visit my brother over there.
Hard.
And I flew him in the same thing, business class. Let's go.
You guys had
And
it
he was
easy.
scared at first of the long
course,
flight.
yes.
He's like, dude, it's like 10 hours. I'm too old for this kind of flight. I'm gonna be tired. I'm like, no, you're not. Trust me. Oh, he said he loved it. He's like, dude, it's the best. Like that, I can travel everywhere. They serve you everything,
That's
drink,
nice.
desserts, food. You can lay down, watch TV, movies, whatever you want. So
Something to
I highly
consider.
suggest that. If you can, put some money together to afford it comfortably, very, very highly recommend that.
Right now, you said you hang out with your day one friend, like your actual day one
Yeah.
friends, like from junior high. Throughout your whole adolescence and your adulthood, you've been boxing. You've been in the limelight for most of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
How many of your day ones lasted till now? And did you lose any along the way
Well-
because the way fame affects people? You know what I mean?
The ones that I still keep in touch on regular days and basis like that. My friend George, we went on a Euro trip last year. After I came back with my family, we went back with my homie, just hopped around a couple countries in Europe.
Big.
So he's like I said, he's the one that's day one.
That's your best
junior high.
friend.
I have other friends from elementary that we still keep in touch and we hang out like I said on
Occasionally.
occasions.
Birthdays, stuff like
Occasionally,
that.
yeah. But my homie George, because he's more available, we hang out more often. And he's single, so he's not tied with family and kids. That sometimes keeps them, friends from being available too. He's still single, no kids, so he's able to tag along more often. The ones that I've lost contact or lost, in touch with, not because we were not trying to be in touch, but family gets in the way, of course,
that's
with
different.
work, career.
They're still your boys.
They
It's
move-
just
Yeah,
circumstantial.
yeah, circumstantial,
What I'm saying-
distance or stuff like that.
What I'm getting at, has anyone changed up on you because of your status or because they've tried to do you wrong, or you
Not
didn't
that
let them
not,
borrow the Lambo after you got it wrapped or something?
Not that I can pinpoint anything like that.
That's amazing.
We've been friends, forever, and I don't see anybody changing or treating me differently or feeling that I'm behaving it differently, because of who I am or what I did.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anybody that I could say, this guy was
You got a
little-
solid friend group.
It's pretty solid.
That's
small,
fire.
but solid. And then along the way, we've made new
More
friends that it sounds kind of bad maybe or wrong, but literally picked up from the streets, kind of like hanging out, ran into each other in the street,
No, absolutely.
at restaurants or whatever. And they tag along with us for the evening, and they hang out, they like it, and then we start
you guys are friends.
hanging out and we become friends, and now we travel together. Hey, come over here, let's go there, and they tag along with everything, so we've picked up friends like that. Few of the guys have come across in that exact same way.
That's tight.
Yeah. They start out as fans maybe, or just, friendly, hey, we're fans, how are you? But we invite, hey, come kick it with us. And then
Boom, boom, boom.
it keeps going. And before you know it, oh, you guys are friends traveling and hanging out all the time.
How long ago did you meet your lady?
Oh, dude.
Like, what age were you?
That was back in high school. I got 3 kids.
Because she stuck with you through all of this.
We have 3 kids. My oldest, my daughter, she's gonna be 17 in 2 weeks.
Your oldest is 17?
My oldest, 17. Yeah. No,
Did you throw her sick quinceañera?
Yeah, quinceañera. She had quinceañera.
You had it out here or you had it in Oxford?
We had it here. Well, somewhere out. It was in Irvine.
Yeah, around that area.
They picked Irvine.
Generally speaking.
And then then my son, my middle son, he's gonna be 12, and my youngest is 9. No, the middle one's gonna be 13. Sorry, he'll be 13. My youngest is 9. So 2 boys, 1 girl. They're all 4 years apart. So 17, 13, and 9.
How does she deal with it all? Because if you met her in high school,
tough.
Because you were going to the national tournaments.
That's all she knew.
Everything.
I mean, she didn't know any other way. So that's all she knew. That's what it is. That's what it takes. And
were you her first boyfriend?
Well,
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, serious boyfriend. Yeah, we were juniors.
You were her first.
You were juniors.
She was your first girlfriend?
No. But like in the serious, yeah, you know, not. Come on, I mean, I don't consider another girl that you. If it's just a girl that you kind of dated or went out a couple, things, that's not a girlfriend.
Yeah.
But a real girlfriend, yeah.
That's amazing.
So it was.
That's just a testament to your guys' loyalty.
It was all we knew. It was all we know. It's all we knew, and I think that's probably also why she was able to, tolerate and in a way accept, because if she had maybe known anything different or anybody else, say we had met later.
Yeah, the work schedule's way different.
Maybe she wouldn't have liked it. Like, dude, shit, you're gone all the time. You're busy all day. Like, when do we have family time or vacation? I mean, we never did. We hardly ever did.
Yeah, you're making up for it now.
Now I'm making up for it. We were traveling for fights, for promotions. I'm missing holidays, birthdays. I'm missing
everything. Including your own.
Oh, for sure, dude. If you remember or heard,
I'm familiar.
I missed my daughter's birthday.
You missed your baby being born, right?
Because of her being born, her birth date.
Oh, her birth date.
Yeah, her birth date, the actual day of her birth, because I was out on a fight. I was with her the whole time, going to the doctor appointments, doing the whole thing, and then I had to fly out for a fight, and that's when the baby decides to be born. So.
But it's in the sake of providing for the family.
Yes, exactly. It's in the sake of providing and doing it for everyone, not just myself. Not that I'm being selfish. It's for everyone. So.
How did you know she was the one?
Well, I mean, she tolerated my my lifestyle.
She was just down. So
she's down for the career, supportive of the career, supportive of the kids. So that's a proof, right, in itself there. And even now, same thing. Never really had to work. I mean, she's never had to work. I provide. I'm still providing. I'm still in different ways. Not so much boxing. I'm not fighting or boxing to make a living, but I'm still busy with
you're involved in the sport,
handling other things to still continue to generate income and provide.
Of course.
And we're to the point where, again, she still doesn't have, just got retired doesn't mean she has to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Still doesn't have to do anything except take care of the kids, take care of the household, and you're good.
I'm sure she loves it.
And the kids love it because they get to be with mom, with dad, and without having to worry about buying things or money or whatever. Like, it's pretty comfortable.
Are you encouraging, or are the children interested in the fight game?
My youngest shows a little more interest. My older boy doesn't show a lot of interest. Sometimes he kind of flirts with the idea of maybe later. He's like I say, he's only going to be 13.
Yeah,
I started at 14.
Yeah. So he still got time.
He still got time. And the little one, like I say, he's 9.
What about your daughter? Because women boxing is a vibe.
No. My daughter's not fighting. She's not fighting. I wouldn't even let her.
I was gonna say because she doesn't want to, or because you won't.
She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to.
Fire.
But I still wouldn't let her if she wanted. She could learn. I would allow her to learn.
To defend herself.
But not to compete.
Or for fitness.
There's a lot of other options for her. That doesn't require her getting in the ring, and I don't want it for my daughter.
When you were young, were you all the way, as soon as you were able to understand what was happening, did you want to box, or were you? How did you get involved in the sport? I mean, I know everyone's involved.
Yeah.
but-
So I mean, obviously, growing up, I was around the sport through my brothers and my dad and the guys at the gym and whatnot. So I kind of grew up watching that, similar to the way my son's growing up, coming to the gym once in a while, seeing it enough, going to the fights. He's seen.
So then it wasn't an ultra love. You weren't super infatuated with the sport per se.
No.
But everyone was doing it.
It's just kind of like the thing to do in our family, or at least the thing to try. That's kind of like where I was. I never really planned or had a dream of being a fighter and becoming champion and doing all this. I never had that. But again, being in the family, it's what you learn, it's what you know. And then when I was 13, my nephew, Pelos, rest in peace.
R.I.P. man.
He actually was the first one to go to the boxing gym to try and be, a fighter and train.
Mm-hmm.
We went as a family to support one of his fights, one of his exhibition fights. It was out in Reseda. And my brother Robert signed me up. He saw that one of the kids from the other gyms didn't have an opponent. And he saw that at the age, and it was
like, you're going to get in there.
Get in the ring. And he signed me up for it. That's how it started. I didn't have any real proper training. I just was at the house, putting on the gloves once in a while, messing around. But he signed me. He says, "Nah, get Mikey in there. He's gonna get in there." Kid was a couple years older than me, but I was maybe like 4 pounds heavier than him. So my brother said, "That's cool. That's enough." And so we did a little exhibition. I didn't have no license to box, so they made it into like an exhibition sparring session. But it was fun. It was fun.
Did you beat up the little kid?
And well, they can't award a winner because it was an exhibition. I thought I did pretty good. They actually said it was pretty even.
Nice.
And I'm cool with that. But after
that,
that's what actually got me to and start and continue. Yeah. So I started going to the gym after that. And like in a few months, like 2-3 months after that, 4 months after that, I forget, I had my first actual amateur fight with a license and everything.
Boom, boom, boom.
And I was 14. And so I'm like, okay, this is not too bad. It's all right. It's fun. So I kept doing that once in a while.
Now you have super duper hands.
Well, we were like I said, we were still learning proper training, but I had a lot of natural,
You're athletic.
Yeah, athleticism. Yeah. So it was kind of natural, kind of easy. So I'm like, that's cool. It's not too bad. So I kept doing that for 1 year. I had like 9 fights in 1 year, amateur fights on the weekends. And the following year, I was 15 with 9 fights, and we entered a tournament.
And boom.
And they wouldn't allow me to advance because you need to have 10 fights in order to advance to the nationals. But because I did complete my 10th fight at the regionals, because I won the state here, and then I went to regionals. At regionals, I made it the 10th fight. I won, and they were able to kind of allow me. And so I made it all the way to finals. I lost at the final, a 3-2 split decision. But it was a close fight. It was a good fight. That was my first loss. I had made it 15-0 as an amateur.
It's amazing.
Before losing to Michael Concepcion from New Jersey at the 2003 National Junior Olympic Tournament. So I'm like, okay, this is. I made it pretty far. Not bad for 1 year experience. And
that's amazing.
Going in with not only 9 fights, fighting kids that are 60, 80 fights in it, because some kids start a lot younger. So we started getting a few phone calls. My brother got a few phone calls from different, scouts and managers and whatnot.
Hey, what's your brother?
Who, little brother plans. And I'm only 15. And so that kind of opened the eyes to a potential career, possible future. We stuck in the amateurs for a few more years. Once I was 17, ready to go, 18, turn pro, whatever, we had won a few national tournaments and made a bigger name for myself in the amateur ranks. So more managers and promoters now were starting to call. And that's when I realized, like, hey, I could have a career here. So let's focus a little more.
So how many more fights until you went pro?
I only had a total of 60 amateur fights.
16?
60.
Oh, 60, yep.
60, yeah. I had 60 amateur fights, including juniors and open division. So national tournaments, I had won a national tournament, placed silver on another, bronze on another. Like, I was placing, and then we turned pro in 06. 2 years before the 08 Olympics. We just didn't want to wait too much. It's like,
I'm not bad at it. Let's get to it.
It's a lot of politics still. Not guaranteed that you're going to make it to the Olympics. but why not turn pro at 18? And by the time the Olympians come out of the Olympics, you're already, 2 years ahead in the pro ranks. And that's what we did. And we were able to, be consistent, fighting pros, developing.
So like you're saying, you've developed, you're getting in there, you're undefeated and stuff like that. At what point do you place a number on what it's worth to get punched? Like, when do you start like justifying the amount of money that you're getting? You know what I'm saying?
Look, it's not until you fight, at least for me, it's not until I was fighting on HBO that you see some real money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking real money, I'm saying $100,000, for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you may not need to fight on a huge platform to make that kind of money. It's changed a lot. With the introduction of streaming services and social media, you can become real popular, real famous early on.
Now, yep.
And it doesn't take as much as it did before. Back then. Yeah. And also, times have changed financially. Like I said, back then, for me, my first HBO appearance was March of 2011. Prior to that, I was making $8,000 a fight. $12,000 before that. So you're making $8,000, $12,000 a fight. You're fighting 4 times a year. It's not a lot of money.
It's not the most glamorous.
It's not. You're
it's
not
enough to get by.
It's enough to get by. But when you have family, you got bills and you got stuff. I mean, it's not a whole lot of money like people may think.
Not
a lot of people
first,
think
at least, yeah.
that just because he's a professional boxer and he's undefeated and he's fighting on ESPN or on Fox or whatever, oh, he must be making a killing. No, not quite. Some kids nowadays will be, but not everybody, especially not back then. Back then, like I said, on my Fox main events, FS1 or whatever I was fighting, Telefutura, FS1 and all these, my biggest check on those was $12,000. And it's not a lot of money.
And that still got to get split.
Oh, yeah, still. So, yeah, still you got to pay your trainer, management, and your taxes. So you bring home half of that, if that,
That's right.
$5,000,
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it was. It wasn't until I got the opportunity to fight on HBO as a co-feature for $95,000 that I was like, okay.
Not bad.
I could see myself doing this for a few fights and making some money and buying a house, which I did that. My second fight on HBO, I was able to buy a house. Big down payment on the house. My mortgage was super small. I'm like, okay, even if boxing doesn't give me anything else, I got the house and I got my car that I bought. I bought a 2010 Dodge Challenger, and I still have the car.
That's nice.
And so I'm like, I got the house, I got the car. My mortgage is super comfortable that I can do this shit with anything. Even if boxing don't give me nothing else, I'm cool with this. It gave me this. But fortunately, I was able to fight a few more and make some more money. And okay, now we can, do something else, and so on and so forth. I didn't become world champion until 2013. So in that time, I had a few more fights. I started to actually buy a few other houses. Down payment here, down payment there.
Boom.
And then when I became champion, okay, buy this and buy. So
you made smart investments.
I made some pretty smart decisions.
I'm not mad at it. I don't take you as a glutton for punishment. You know what I'm saying? So I could imagine getting hit for that many years gets old. At what point do you draw the line and say, you know what, enough's enough? Is it a dollar amount? Did you get discouraged after the second loss?
I didn't retire because I had made X amount of money or because I was making this much money. No, I retired because I just didn't have the passion for it. See, I never had the love for it to begin with. As I'm developing as a fighter and then become world champion, then that does spark, that flame, the fire does spark, because now you want to achieve more. Now you want to accomplish more.
No, yeah, you're competitive.
Now I'm like, okay, now I want to do this. I want to do that. Yeah, that's when it started. Once I became champion, in fact, it really, really sparked once I became champion finally after the layoff. Because even prior to that, if you go back and look at the films, when I became champion, you never saw me celebrate. You never saw me crying in tears. And
just did your thing.
It's just like, whatever, I won. All right, cool. On to the next.
Thank God.
Once I came back from the layoff, from the
arbitration,
legal dispute that we had and all that bullshit. Once I came back and I became champion, I was happy. I'm like, okay, now let's fucking go. I'm back and let's go. It was a different fire. It was a different motivation. And that's what allowed me to fucking just fight every fight after fight, like just champion after champion, dominating, trying to fight everybody in all the categories. And
no, you were going hard.
So once I accomplished what I did, and then a few things I might have, like the loss and the COVID and all that in between also kind of pushed you away a little bit, and it's kind of, it kind of got old.
Yeah, and then not only
So-
that, but if you wanted to come back during COVID, trying to fight in the
No,
bubble bull stuff,
I didn't do any of that either. So
Yeah.
it just wasn't the same. And the last fight that I had, the loss against Martin, honestly, I didn't even train. I didn't care for that fight. We did that fight as a favor. And we took the fight with like 4 or 5 week notice, like just like, all right, let's go in the ring. But I knew the whole time I wasn't gonna fight. Like I'm like, dude,
You're not gonna be
I'm not. It's
the
not gonna be
Mikey
me.
that everyone
no,
knows.
no. I knew, and I thought the opponent, nobody really knew him, so I thought it would be just like another opponent that someone's bringing in, European kid, and nothing special. Good record out there, but nothing special
Here.
And I would probably go over through the motions enough to win. I never thought it'd be
Confident.
It'd be a fight where it would be as challenging.
yes.
Like, oh, dude, you better be in shape. You better be training your ass off for it. I really didn't think that. I thought it's gonna be one of those fights where he's just running around and it's gonna go through the motions, and I win a decision because that's all it is. But I knew that was gonna be the last one. Every day
In that 5 weeks.
in the gym leading up to the fight, every day I kept telling myself, one day less. That's it. One day less.
Yeah, that's not even
one day
a
less.
good attitude, I don't think.
2 weeks before the fight, my brother got a call from the management and promotion handling the event that our other boy, Bam Rodriguez, who was on the show, we were promised a title fight for him, and that's why I took the fight. We were told 2 weeks before the fight that he wasn't going to fight for a title, that the opponent had, something with his visa or something. So it was just going to be another non-title fight against somebody else. So I tell Robert, my dad, then why am I doing this? I was only doing this for that reason. Literally for that reason. Why am I here? Take the gloves. I got off the ring. I'm like, here, take them off. I'm gonna call him, tell him that I got injured or something. I'm telling him cancel the show. And my dad and my brother were like, come on, we're already here. It's 2 weeks away. Let's just go with it. Come on, get back in it. And I'm like, dude, that's not the point. I only did this for that, favor for Bam.
Literally.
But now that it's not even a title fight, then why am I even gonna do this? I don't care for this fight. I wanted to get Regis in December. Regis was a bigger fight. And they're like, well, let's just get this real done. We'll go in December. And I knew we're never gonna get to December. I'm like, I'm not gonna get there. So I'm like, all right, fine. So we finished the day. But every day it was like one day less. Oh, the last day of sparring, I'm like, okay, this is the last time I'm gonna have to put these gloves on. Last time I'm gonna throw the headgear. I'm done. And then the week of the fight, same thing. This is the last day I'm gonna do this. This is the last day I'm gonna have to worry about that, whatever. This is the last day I have to be, cutting weight or whatever.
You were over it.
And I was done. As soon as the last bell rang at the fight, as I walked to my corner, Robert jumps in the ring to greet me. And I hand my gloves to him to cut them off. I'm like, that's it. That was the last one. I'm not doing it again. We're done. And he just kind of smiled with a smirk. He's like, really? That's it? That's the last one? I'm like, yeah, that's it. No more. We're done. I didn't tell them anything leading up to the fight. I saved it till it was the end. Because I wanted to make sure that it was the end. I didn't want to say and announce that it was going to be the end. And then maybe later be like, you know what? I still got that itch. I'm coming back. Like, no. I waited till I knew for a fact that was it. And in the ring, I told Robert, that's it. We're not doing it. I'm done. That was it. I don't care. I didn't really care about this decision. I still think I did enough to win because I think he got awarded more credit because he survived. Everybody thought I was gonna blow him out of the water.
It's one of those scenarios like where you get more action because you survived.
He was moving enough to make me miss, but I was the one putting the pressure, landing some good shots. He was trying to counter, but he was very evasive. So I think he got more credit for just surviving and then being elusive than actual beating me. Because I was fine. I didn't get any hits or nothing. But whatever it is, I didn't really care. I've seen the fight and I think I still won. I've seen the fight. I'm like, dude, I won. But whatever, it doesn't matter. I didn't care. I told Robert, I don't care.
It is what it is.
Once they announce the win, I'm like, it's fine, whatever. Let's just walk out of here. Let's get out of here. I'm done.
How much did the situation during the layoff affect you mentally in regards to the sport? Did it take away any love for the sport?
I think it actually helped because
Well, with the hunger to come smash everybody.
Yes, it's kind of like people always use this, and some will not understand until it happens to them. But people will say, you never know what you have until you lose it. So being that I was on top, I was undefeated, world champion in 2 divisions, fighting on HBO. There was conversation of me fighting bigger fights and doing all this stuff. And then it's kind of pulled out of the rug under my feet, and the 2.5-year layoff and all this dispute and everything.
Are you able to speak about what happened or not really?
Yeah, I can speak.
Could you tell me? Because
So
I'm not too familiar. I just knew that you were going through some shit.
So my contract expiration date was set for February of 2014. We're in January of 2014. My last title defense. We're like, okay, let's negotiate, let's continue, or do we release or what, you know? So we bring that up, but the promoter was saying that the contract does not expire, that there's an extension that applies. There's a clause in extension. My understanding of that extension, I read it. I know what it says.
You knew it existed, yeah.
I'm like, yes, that's true. However, that only applies if I am world champion defending my title. It says title defenses. We're moving up in weight class. Let's negotiate a separate extension, because I could easily vacate the title if that was the case and be like, I got no title. So what can you apply? We can play that game.
Yep.
So let's negotiate. And they didn't want to. Well, unfortunately, 9 months after that, in October, the organization that I was champion for at the time, the WBO, sent me a letter requesting, hey, you haven't scheduled any fight.
What are we doing?
9 months. What do we do? You either have to, vacate the title,
fight or vacate, yeah.
Or schedule a fight. I'm like, well, I have no fight. My promoter ain't putting me on any fight. He says, then I'm gonna have to ask you to vacate the title. I'm like, do you guys send me a letter saying that you're stripping me? He's like, no, we don't do that. We don't strip the title. It's just not a term that we like to use. They don't want to politically, they don't want to be the ones to say, oh, they stripped the champion from the title. So they made me vacate the title. They sent me a letter explaining why I need to defend the title within those 9 months or schedule at least a fight, this and that.
What'd the promoter say? They thought you were playing?
Nothing. They didn't say nothing.
They didn't care at all.
They didn't care. And so I had to resign the title, which I think kind of worked in my favor a bit, because now I really don't have a belt, and it's not my fault. It's the promoter's fault that didn't schedule a fight for me. So I'm like, okay, now I really don't have a title. I don't have no title defense to offer. Okay.
Now what?
So it just sucks that the legal process, the court system takes so long. And when you're dealing with someone like a promoter like that knows how the system works, that
dragged it out,
that they themselves are attorneys and they knew law and they just drag it on. So it seemed like their strategy was to try and drag it on as long as I could or as long as they could. And in a way, quote unquote, starve me until I was begging them to, cut it and let's go. A year after the lawsuit started, we're now in 2015, April, May of 2015. They came at me offering if I would like to fight. And they just kind of spit it out there just to test me out, because they didn't offer any real contract or any real offer. They just brought it up like, hey, would you be interested in fighting for the vacant 135-pound title? Crawford just vacated to move up to 40. You wanted to move up to 35. And I asked him, what's the purse and what are the terms? Are we still under your old contract, or is this going to be new
negotiation?
And he says, well, if you become champion, the contract's five more fights and 3 more. I'm like, nah. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm not taking that. And they're like, well, would you take it for this much money? It was cheap, like $250,000, $230,000, I forget. And I'm like, right. No, like, honestly, no. I'm like, how about I pay you to buy my contract out? And I was willing to pay them. I offered them $1 million to buy out the contract and let me walk away. They said, no, we're not doing that. We have a contract and we're going to continue until it rides out. Oh, okay, that's how you're playing. So that I know for a fact they're just trying to starve me out. And you offer this bullshit fight to see how needed of money, how much I needed.
And then you counter
I countered with $1 million.
I got $1 million.
And they're like, no, we're going to continue. Okay, well, we went on after that. A few months after, we went to depositions and disclosures and everything. And now I got to see more of their business and how they run their business. And that's when I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go all 12 rounds with you motherfuckers. I ain't gonna step back. After the depositions, after we did all those discoveries, they came at me offering to negotiate a settlement. I said, nope, not no more. You guys missed your chance.
Because now it's pain, suffering, stress, emotional damages, financial damages.
They were afraid that I could countersue them for damages if I won the whole case. So I said, no, now I'm really going to go all 12. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait it out. You're right. Now we're going to wait it out. They asked me for, the first time they came back, I think it was like $3 million. I said, no, I ain't going to pay no $3 million. Then they brought it down to like 2. Eventually they were back to the 1 or whatever, and I could do it in installments and this. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
We're already here.
I offered the opportunity to negotiate a new contract, to work fight by fight, to give me 5 fight deals. Like, I offered a lot of options. I even offered to pay my way out, and you guys didn't want to. All right, let's just wait. Let's keep going. Eventually, we finally went to court the following year, which was like in March, April of 2016. And the judge was giving his preliminary analysis of it. And I was there, and he says, look, from my understanding, I'm gonna have to go back and review everything, but from my reading right now and understanding, the entire term of the entire extension would have expired this upcoming like July or whatever it was. I forget. July, August. He's like, so we're only a few months away from the entire, if the extension had been applicable. If the extension had been applicable, the expiration would have been 3 months from now. However, from what I'm reading right now,
it wasn't.
It shouldn't have been applicable. So I'm gonna go back and review everything. But the language that I'm reading should not have been applicable. Therefore, Mikey, should have been freed a long time ago. You guys are scheduled to come back 1 week from now, and I'll give you my final answer.
Verdict, yeah.
As soon as we left the court,
boom,
they're calling to negotiate a settlement, and they dropped the money, right? They said, okay, just walk away. Everybody pays their own dues, and I'm like, why? I can just wait until next week and I get the award. Once I get the green light from the judge, I can countersue for damages. But a few attorneys, different friends of mine, gave me a different perspective as well. He says, yeah, you can see it that way. You could kind of have them in a chokehold and now put your weight on them. But if we're being real, he said, look, let's say you sue them for $2 million for the 2 years of inactivity. They have up to 10 years to pay that. If you're awarded all that. And more than likely, it's going to
get dragged out forever.
More than likely, it's going to get dragged on even further. So you're not going to see any of that for at least 15 years from now. He's like, because they're going to drag it on for another 2-3 years until they finally award you that. Then they got 10 more years to. So you're never going to see that. It says, and also you might be closing some doors, which made sense.
Facts.
They still had a lot of fighters there that were very, very hot that I could potentially still land a negotiation with them.
Absolutely.
They had the Pacquiao, the Crawford, Lomachenko, and a few other names.
So on and so forth, yes.
So it made me think, you're right. And my brother has a lot of fighters with them too. So it's like, I don't want to hurt the business.
Everything, yeah.
For that reason. So the only thing that I requested, they offered a few letters of settlement, and I said no. I wrote a settlement agreement to them. I told my agent, my lawyer, send them this. If they sign this,
we're good.
We're good. The only thing that I really, really cared about, and this is one thing that they had asked me to keep quiet, was
the dollar amount?
No, the right to speak about my business with them and how we negotiated and what the settlement was and whatnot. They wanted a non-disclosure agreement.
Of course.
And I said, no, I need to be free to speak about this whenever, however I want. And that's the only thing I need to have, or else I'm not signing anything. So we sent them the letter, and they wouldn't sign it for a few days.
Day before
The
court.
day before court, I was here at the gym, this exact gym. I was done training, which was probably like 6 p.m., 4 p.m. because we're training out in the evening, afternoon, evening. When I was done, I checked my email,
Boom.
and there it is. They had signed it. So I'm like,
That's right.
So to me, even now, I'll still say that's one of my greatest victories, not the greatest victory of my career.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna ask you what your craziest fight was. That was your
That was
craziest,
my craziest fight, and that was the greatest victory. Because for this little kid, I was 26, 27, whatever, to be able to go up against a promoter like that, big, with history and,
just prestige
just
overall.
everything.
Yeah.
And be able to get them to sign, and walk away. I was not.
You weren't even being unreasonable.
Exactly. But just doing it the way I wanted, it made me feel really, really like great, like huge.
Then you won. So you're coming off the biggest victory of your fucking life. Who cares about them vacated titles? We up.
I'm always thinking like, how did I was able to do that? Because
it was your badass lawyer.
There's a lot. Oh hell no. Fuck no. We had a good team. We did have a good team. We had a really good team. We did have a very good team, but a lot of it also was my thoughts. I was able to organize certain things.
Your ring IQ.
And because they're very good litigators. The team that I have,
of course,
very, very good.
They had to have been.
But they also didn't understand everything that goes in boxing. They didn't understand boxing language.
They just
100%.
Understand the business.
They understand how to negotiate, how to come to an agreement and settle, or how to, litigate.
But there's just certain things.
But there's things in boxing
and
terms and language and stuff that they didn't understand. That's where I came in. So we were able to form and navigate in certain ways to make myself appear obviously better and in the eyes of the court and the judge and everything, which was not cheating. It's facts.
Whatever facts are, yeah.
We got to present our case versus having someone else just present what they want,
Mm-hmm.
Documents that the promoter was presenting were not even signed, not even dated. We had documents dated after the fight and stuff like that, which was very fishy. Just
absolutely bad.
The judge saw all that shit. And he's like, dude, these aren't even dated. These aren't have no total amounts. These are blank. What are you showing me? Oh, but it's because we don't have total. Like, yeah, you do. You got the totals. Why don't you disclose that? You're supposed to disclose it. These are the Muhammad Ali Acts, disclosure A and B for a reason. And you're leaving them blank. You're making them sign. In fact, this one signed 3 or 4 or 5 days after the fight. How is that
even possible?
Fair. Like, that's not fair. And so the judge saw through all their bullshit. But again, like I said, we got to present that. We got to show it and explain what it is that we're showing.
What and why. Yeah.
If you don't do that, then you'll lose. But I was very happy that I was able to walk away without paying them out of pocket, even though it took longer, but I was able to do so. Whereas other fighters that have left the company have, in a way, all paid. Mm-hmm. They've all had to pay to be able to walk away. And
on this one, you got paid.
And I was able to walk away, and I'm good. And here we go. Now it's time to get back to my career, and let's go.
You talked about buying houses with your purses and stuff like that, which is brilliant. What other smart investments have you made with your money?
You win some, you lose some.
Tell me one horrible investment and one that's still hitting you with dividends still to this day.
See, I wouldn't think anything is horrible investments. Even if you lose money on some of the investments, you make that money back on the next one.
What was the one that didn't yield?
The ones that you regret.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Are not the ones where you lose money. It's the ones that you just didn't make money because you missed the opportunity.
Disclose which one it is.
No, okay, so
did you buy a bar and no one went to go drink?
No. I've never bought a bar, never bought a restaurant. I'm too scared to do that. That's too much of a gamble for me.
The carniceria is hitting.
Well, that's my brother's.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
And I was invited, but I didn't want to do any of that. I didn't want to join because I don't want to have to have an obligation to be part and paying attention and in a way you have
absolutely
work. I just retired. I said,
I'm
not trying to go back to do anything right now. Let me just chill for a while. I've done well with my investments with real estate. That's like number one.
That's great.
But even real estate itself, I missed a few opportunities where I could have made a lot more money. Those are the ones that kind of keep that little, should have just pulled the trigger. And I didn't because I was too scared.
I respect it.
So even though I knew the numbers, I read the numbers, I see the numbers, but the dollar amount was high enough to scare me away. Like, it's just too much money. Like I got it, but it's a lot of money. And that's what scared me away. So it's not that I lost money in any other investment.
Just potential earnings.
But potential earnings. See, I've bought some cars that I've flipped and I made good money. And then I have a few that I've lost some money, and okay, whatever. I don't care. As long as I have the cash again, I can reinvest it somewhere else where I can make more money. So that money is just like playing. You move it from one place to another, and you may make a little more here. You might have lost a little bit, but you make it up over here plus some. And so you're just playing with that money. That money.
I like that.
Doesn't bother me, because that's what that money is for. You know, I have money set aside for that reason. And whenever I do make a profit, bring it back this way. Put it in my pocket. The rest keeps going. Even if you lose a little bit, it's okay. Put it somewhere else where you're going to make money, and you will. And good. We're back to normal. And you keep it going. But the missed opportunities, those are the ones. Buying a house, I don't know if you remember a few years back. This is probably 2019, I think it was. Maybe 2020. There was a fire out in Malibu.
Yes.
Burned a lot of properties. There was an opportunity that landed on my lap for a house there. We saw what the values of the homes were going previous and what they were trying to get rid of, because it was, fire damage, burned. And I didn't have the full amount of money, but you don't need the whole amount of money.
You don't need everything.
But it was just a lot of money. They were asking at the time like $5.5 million. And I'm like, it's going to take.
It sounds crazy.
It's going to take another $3-4 million to develop. So you're looking at maybe $9 million, let's just say $10 million total. But once it's ready to go, they're like $14 million. So there's potential to go anywhere from $12 to $14 million there total. You're going to invest 10 to make 2. I'm like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, it's a lot of money to risk. What if it doesn't? What if it takes too long? What if I can't afford it? I just thought of all the negative.
Doctor Stranged it. Yeah, I understand.
And I talked to a few people, and some people wanted to come in on it with me too. They're like, dude, if you're down,
let's all get in on it.
Get in on it. Let's all get on the action. That way you don't have to put all your money there. Let's all put this one, whatever. And I thought about it a lot, and I told them, you know what, I'm gonna pass on it. If you guys want to take care of it, you guys do it. But it's just not for me. I'd rather put my money in safer investments.
Yes.
Homes over here, more of the, the everyday type of sale out here at home. Average person, which I've done good, but that would have been a good one, because I could have done it, made $2-3 million on one.
Did you ever check back up on it to see what it went for?
13.5. Another one that was similar to that, but in the car world. I was out at McLaren in England a few years ago, back in 2018. I happened to go out there, and I went to the factory. I got invited to the factory, and I had already owned 2 previous McLarens. They invited me to their factory. They gave me the private VIP tour, like the whole works. They were showing me a car that was still in the developmental stages or about to start production. But they had a clay model. They had this and that. And it was the Alva, the McLaren Alva. And we're looking at it, and we designed one to my specifications just to see what it would be like and price and whatnot. And it came up to be like 1.6, 1.7 mil. I'm like, that's money. Like, it was like, it's too much money. Like, for a car, it's a lot of money. I'd spend money on other cars, but not quite that much. And they're like, well, you don't need to pay the whole amount. Just give up down payment right now. Once the car is completed and, ready for delivery, then you can negotiate, you can figure out, pay it off or finance it or whatever. I talked to my buddies out here who are big in the car world, and they not that they guided me away from it or advised me away, but they just told me, like, dude, that's kind of like a coin toss, almost like that's your call. If you really, really love the car, buy it for your pleasure. Don't just buy it for the possibility of flipping it. Whenever you buy something to flip, you got to be 100% know that you're going to make money. Like if you go over to the auction, buy a car at, 50,000, but you're going to sell it for 70 or whatever.
Who knows how much a McLaren depreciates.
Car, you don't know. What if the market isn't right for it? What if the market isn't strong at the time? Whatever. So that kind of kept me, a little bit away. Well, I passed on the opportunity. When they were out, by the time they were finally out, originally they had proposed like 400 units. Then they brought it down to like 300. Eventually they're like at under 200 units, like 160 something units total production, which made the car that much more rare. Value of that car went up to $3 million. I'm like, holy shit. You know, those are the ones I'm talking about where you've missed that opportunity.
I feel it right now.
Like, I could have just put a down payment, deposit, you know, finance for a year, because you need to keep them at least a year.
Yes.
And then you can sell it for, put it up for sale at 3, get to the first 2.5 that comes by. Let's go, you know, take 750 or whatever home. Those are the ones that are like kind of like, I missed on that. I missed that one. But that's all right, because I didn't lose, you know?
No, yeah, just potential earnings.
Potential earnings. But you still have fun with it.
No, absolutely.
You still have fun. I still enjoy the cars.
Still got the tour, you know?
Yeah, I got the tour. You know, it was cool. It's an amazing facility, man.
Have you done any reckless spending? Did you go buy a bust down glove or something?
Not like that. I don't think I've done anything like that. I'm not a big jewelry guy, so I've never spent money on jewelry.
Anything you spent that you regret spending on?
No.
Bought out the bar after a night after a victory or something. The tab
No,
ended up being
because the times that I've gone out where I've dropped decent amount of money, and I'm not talking hundreds of $1,000s, you know, but to me it's decent amount. Whenever you go out and spend, you know, 20, 30,000 on a weekend or whatever, that's
quite a bit.
That's a lot of money for me. Whenever I did do that, we enjoyed it with everybody. It's a memory that everybody, not just myself, it's a family thing.
That's beautiful.
You know, that we can tell for the rest of our lives. We can tell the kids. My friends have enjoyed some of those nights. They're talking about it to everybody.
The legend lives on.
So it's like, dude, like, that's just the cost of that story.
I respect it.
So for the moment, I'm not even thinking of, damn, I should have done this with that money. No, because that's what that money was for. I had already put that money aside for that reason.
Specifically.
Yeah, so... I mean, vacations or whatever, trips, birthday parties, you know, stuff like that you spend money, and that's what it's for. There's different levels, obviously. I'm not spending hundreds of $1,000s. I can't do that.
No,
but with tens or 20,000, you know, stuff like that, you can afford that once or twice a year. Sometimes, okay, you can do that. But because I'm putting that money for that reason, I've already put that away for that date.
Respectfully, how much does it cost for you to live daily now? Not daily, but, you know, how much does it cost for you to live monthly, rather?
It changes. Depends on what I have planned for the month. If I have, you know, certain birthdays or like this month, we had a trip. My daughter's birthday coming up at the end of the month, so that's gonna be a little expense and a few things. But it changes. There's other months where it's bigger expense. For example, last year we did a little more traveling. So those months were a little more expensive, but you're still looking only at maybe $15,000, $20,000 a month. An
increase, yeah.
If that month is expensive, if the month is not expensive on regular, you're looking under 15.
Where I'm going with all of this is how much is it going to take for you to return to the ring? Like, what is the dollar amount that it would take for you to return to the ring?
Nah, I don't think that. I don't think I'm coming back.
Nah, I'm good.
No, because look.
He doesn't want to cut weight.
If that's number one right there, the training, the work that it requires. See, if you ask me, or if anybody were to ask me, hey, today's Wednesday, are you down to fight on Saturday? And we'll give you $1 million, and you're gonna fight a regular guy that's also kind of in the same shape that you are right now.
Let's get it.
Oh, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'll do it tonight if you want. But I know that for a fight.
But if they wanted you to go in and fight Virgil.
Or yeah, that level fighter, it's going to take me at least 6 months to get in shape. Possibly even more to be in fight ready shape.
Fight ready shape, not just in shape.
Not just in shape. I can start getting in decent, you know, pre-camp shape maybe in 3 months. Then another 3 months to be in shape. And so it's
to box another.
It's too much time, dedication, and time that when you look at the value, you know, it just doesn't make sense for me.
What about if they wanted you to fight a UFC fighter, but in the ring, a boxing match, an exhibition with a UFC fighter of some sort?
If it was an exhibition, I'm gonna have to donate the money. I won't take dollars off an exhibition. I'll donate it to a foundation, charity, some cause,
That's
something.
honorable.
I'll donate my money, but I can do that whenever they want. because I don't need to train for that. It's an exhibition. It's not a fight. I can just jump in there and go around with emotions. I can play around like that, and that's fine. We can do that.
Do you think you could easily defeat a UFC fighter that's still in the swing of things?
Depends on the fighter himself and number of rounds. I mean, if I get tired in 4 rounds, the fight's a 10-rounder, he's gonna kick my ass after that. But if we were to work out a little bit just to get in shape for the exhibition, yeah, that's not a problem. I can do that.
Have you ever dabbled with MMA or sparred with anybody of that nature?
Not in any MMA form. We had Jose Aldo here a couple times years ago, and one day we kind of worked a little bit, around, but not real sparring.
No, not for real. Yeah,
just kind of messed around. I've never really trained in any MMA form or anything like that. But if it was boxing rules, I don't need to be, fully gym ready, fight ready for an exhibition. I can do that. I can jump in the ring right now and probably handle a good 4 rounds, maybe even 5 rounds, just by the motions and,
just doing what you do.
Doing what I do.
Your ring IQ
I can do everything. 4 or 5 rounds, especially if I, take my time a little bit, kind of play with it. I feel I can do 5 rounds. Because I've done it before. Last year I came a couple of days, just, hey, let's get in the ring. I was able to do about 4 rounds. So I'm like, okay, I can probably, if I stretch it a little bit, I can do 5. Especially if it's an exhibition.
Aside from experience, obviously, and just being seasoned, what would the differences be between an amateur and a professional boxer?
Oh, no, it's night and day. Night and day. Even the style of the fight. Amateur style, you have 3 rounds, maybe, I don't know what the rules are right now, maybe 4 rounds, I'm not sure, but they do 3 2-minute rounds, so you don't have a lot of time. So the style of the fight is
it's a faster
pace, more activity, trying to land the combinations, whereas the pros, you have a lot more time, especially a 12-round fight. You can study your opponent a little bit, feel him out the first round, 2 rounds. Work your game plan into the fight, and if it's not working, you can switch it up.
You just got more time.
You got more time. Gloves are a lot smaller in the pros too, so you can hurt your opponent at any moment. No headgear. So the fight itself is different. Then you add the whole experience. You may have a very talented kid who comes off the Olympics, gold medalist. But you get an experienced fighter who's fucking seasoned, who knows what the f to do, will fight you dirty. He can kick your ass. There's been fighters who have come out of the Olympics with big, tremendous records. Gold time, 2-time or 1-time gold medalist, 2-time gold medalist, that kind of stuff. But then in the pros, it's not the same. And they learned the hard way because they jumped in the ring against a very seasoned veteran who's experienced, at that level. And the guy loses to him because he just doesn't have the experience.
And now I say that to say, what's the difference between a great boxer and an elite one?
The dedication, discipline.
Would you say it's God-given, some of the talents, or nah? You can make a great boxer.
It's a combination of everything. You got to have talent, natural abilities, natural talent. Some kids have the reflexes, the speed, the power, the movement, that kind of stuff. Some of that is given. Sometimes that is natural. A lot of times when that's natural, that takes them so far. But then the dedication, the discipline is what makes the difference for them to make it elite level. Other fighters may not have the whole set of skills like that naturally. They got to work for it. But because they're so dedicated and so disciplined, that allows them to achieve higher levels and higher heights in their sport. So it's a combination, and it just depends on the fighter. If you look at the highest level of fighters that I've seen, like the Manny Pacquiao, the Mayweather, at the time De La Hoya, and Roy Jones and all that.
Best of the best.
They were super dedicated. Aside from being talented, they were dedicated. Right now, some of the very, very best, Terrence Crawford.
That's a bad man, dude.
Super athletic, but also dedicated. When's the last time you heard or seen him at the club?
Never.
When have you heard any gossip of him at the clubs, balling out,
just anything,
making it rain?
Nothing like of the sort.
Nothing like that, right? Exactly. He's dedicated. He's family man and a man of the sport. Then you get some of the other fighters that are very talented, but not that they lack all the dedication, because when they're training, they're dedicated. But in between the fights,
Discipline.
they don't have the discipline. That's the difference. They may be able to reach higher levels, but they don't have that discipline. That can potentially keep them from reaching, their full potential. And that's just the way it is. Same goes with any other athlete in any other sport. It's the same thing.
That's intense. When did you start making good money in boxing? Like, what was a fight where you were like, damn, I made some bread?
Well,
HBO?
back to 2011 HBO, when I made $95,000 for that one. I brought home 55,000 after paying everybody off.
Good night's work.
And then you got to pay your taxes on that, but whatever. I mean, that's the way it is. Then I fought again in June. That was here at Staples Center. I was the co-feature. I got 100 for that one. I put that money together and bought me a house and bought my car, the Challenger.
That's that.
So that's like, okay, now we're actually seeing some money. Then I fought again in October that same year. Another fight on HBO, $100,000. That was in New York. I'm like, okay, now let's put some money and let's buy another house, or things like that. So that's when I saw real money. Prior to that, like I said, you're not making money.
Yeah, like you said, you're making $8, $10, $12.
$8,000 and $12,000 on a fight.
After the Adrian Broner fight, you picked up like some steam. Robert Easter wanted the fight. Maybe like he wanted to avenge his homie or something. You demolished him. And then Spence wanted to fight. And it's kind of like all of Adrian's homies wanted to fight you. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, you suffered a loss on that one. What was that like for you after all these fights of being undefeated? What is that like?
Look, on the way back, I was flying with my boy on his plane, and he's asking me the same thing. Hey, how do you feel? What's on your mind? Like, and I was fine. I was normal. He's like, dude, you look pretty good. Like I would expect a fighter who had been winning every single fight and at the top
to be devastated,
to be down, like sad, and you don't seem like what's going through your mind. I'm like, dude, I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm healthy. I made it to the top. I made a lot of money. I mean, why would I be sad? Well, because I lost
to a bum, yeah.
What's wrong with losing? There's nothing wrong with losing. I didn't see any problem with that. I challenged the top guy and let's go on to the next. Now, I didn't fight for the rest of the year, not because I was depressed or sad. I just wanted to take a big break and enjoy some of the,
yeah, you just made some
free
bread.
time, spend time with the family, with friends, all that. So I didn't fight for the rest of the year for that reason. Not because I was sad or because I was hurt or whatever. No, I just wanted a big break. I made a good amount of money, big fight. Let me hang out for a bit,
What separated him from the other 40 people that you had smashed?
He was so much bigger. He was big. He's very good. I always said that he reminded me very close to myself in the way that he doesn't do anything fancy or anything out of this world. Nothing flashy about the way he fights. But everything he does very efficient.
And it's very technical and precise.
Very technical. He manages the distance very well. Manages the reach, height. Puts pressure, consistent pressure when he needs to or when he can. So it's very efficient. Nothing flashy. Nothing wow. But also the size, the southpaw stance, height, reach, overall weight advantage, all that also played into the fight. And like I've said, now I've said it a couple of times, I was really bad in shape and sick. I was sick for the fight, but whatever. I mean, that doesn't mean that I would have won, but I definitely would have fought better. I know that for 100%. I know that for a fact. I would have fought a lot better had I not been sick. I got sick that week. I was fucked up. I was in the hospital on Monday night, Tuesday morning. I was pretty bad. However,
plus you're cutting weight.
Whatever that happened, I didn't cut weight for that fight really because I was moving weight class.
Yeah, you were going up. You were going up.
Just after 3-4 rounds, I was done. I was gassed out. I had no more energy. I felt sluggish, slow, just weak. So I'm
that's got to be a
surprised, and almost that he didn't stop me, that he didn't knock me out. my experience, my defense carried me the rest of the night. But, being that I was in such bad shape and I was such a small fighter and everything,
How discouraging is that? Knowing that let me ask you
I really
this.
believed I was going to fight a perfect fight. In training camp, everything went so well. I really believed I could beat him. That's why I took the fight. I wouldn't have taken the fight if I didn't think I had a chance.
Of course not.
Was it going to be a difficult fight? Yes. Was it a tough fight? Yes. I knew that all night long. I never thought it was going to be an easy fight. I always thought it was going to be a challenging fight, but I had enough to pull it off. And during training camp, we had a great training camp. But that week of the fight, I don't know how it happened, but I got sick and it fucked everything up. So my dad didn't even know. My brother knew the day of the weigh-in. Dude, Pita's telling me that you're sick. Like, yeah, I've been sick the whole week. He's like, fuck. He's like, all right, well, we're not going to be able to fight the way you thought you were and the way we wanted you to. So just be careful, be safe. And that's it. I mean, there's not much to do at that point.
If Errol called you and said, hey, let's have a rematch, would you?
I would have done it back then, not no more. Right now, it's like, I don't give a no more. It's too.
You're over it.
I'm over it. At the time, I did want to. I would have. I wanted it. And the year later, I fought Jesse Vargas. Then COVID happened and this whole thing, and we were supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao. It didn't happen for COVID reasons. The year after that,
the Pacquiao fight would have been a nasty.
The year after that, Pacquiao was supposed to fight Spence. Spence pulls out because of the eye situation. So then I asked to fill in and let me fight Manny in a few weeks after. Because I was actually in training. Not camp, but I was training. So I asked if they could push the fight, because they were fighting like late August, push it to September 15th, 16th, 19th weekend.
So you could get a little bit of
get a few more weeks, get a couple more weeks, and we'll do Manny and me. But for whatever reason, he chose to fight Ugas. My plan was to fight Manny, beat him for the title, and go after Spence on the rematch
and run it up.
That's what ideally I would have wanted. Manny gets the Ugas fight, Ugas wins, and then Ugas ends up fighting Spence a year later. And I just never got anything. Route. But that's, like I said, that's not it's not me moving all the pieces, The
way you phrase that right now is like as if you could have beat Manny Pacquiao. Did you believe?
Oh yeah, I would have beat him.
You would have beat him for sure.
I would have beat him.
I like.
I would have beat him. At that time, I would have beat him.
That's fire.
He lost to Ugas. You could see that not that Ugas, I'm not trying to take credit away from Ugas.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just looking at the way Manny fought that fight, the way Manny looked in that fight. He
had Manny Pacquiao faced Mikey Garcia.
Oh yeah, I would have beat him, and that would have given me the opportunity to land another rematch. And
do you think you would have took it to Spence?
Yeah, I would have done the same thing right away. I would have offered the fight to Spence, and I would have trained the exact same way. And
yeah, because had you not had that ailment, whatever it was, you had the flu or whatever it was.
Yeah, I would have fought a lot better for sure. I can't guarantee.
And you would have had the experience of already facing him.
Yeah, I feel I would have been 100% better.
Do you think you would have beat Spence in a rematch at that junction?
Look, at the time when I took the fight, I really thought I could win. Like I said, I really, really believed I had the chance. And that's also a lot of it up here, man. So you have to be that.
No, you have to be that.
It's got to start here.
I'm not mad at anything you're saying. I'm with you.
But aside from being, up here, what I was doing in the ring training camp leading up to that fight,
it was to win.
It was to win. And it was like, wow, we really got a chance. It's not just a dream or we got a chance. We have a real opportunity. Never happened. So I can never do anything about it now.
I like it. Aside from the training mishap where you felt gassed and you knocked out that guy, has there ever been any other fights where you were like, damn, I'm winning, but this is crazy. Like, I should not be winning this fight?
Nothing to that extent. A few other fights, you go into fights, like I said, maybe minor injuries or even a little flu sometimes.
But that's more you. I'm saying, has it ever been you felt a punch and you're just like, oh, shit?
The one fight that it was surprising power like that, when I fought and beat Sergey Lipinets, it was, I think, at the end of the second round, He connected a left hook right on like my cheekbone right here. Bell rang. I'm walking to my corner and I'm feeling a little bit of a buzz, like, oh fuck, this motherfucker gets hard. So I fought the few more rounds fairly, careful and smart.
Respectfully.
Respectfully. I was winning, but I wasn't taking,
no risk.
unnecessary risks. Then we exchanged in the 7th round and I dropped him. But during that exchange, he landed a hook himself.
No, you felt it.
I felt it. And as I'm walking to the neutral corner, I'm like, oh, good thing he went down, because who knows what would have happened. Right hand could have put me down. When he got up, he played it safe, but I also played it safe too. I'm like, I ain't gonna risk, because even though he's hurt,
that doesn't mean he's not dangerous.
Throw a punch that I don't see, and I could get dropped myself. So I also played. So I just continued winning the next few rounds, and we won 12 rounds, and that was it, because he was dangerous. He was a dangerous guy.
Has there been any fights where you felt uneasy going into, like you said, you always want to take a fight. You're taking fights that you think possibly could win, but have you ever felt like low key, like, damn, this is gonna be kind of crazy?
I mean, aside from Errol Spence, which I've always felt that was the toughest fight, but I still felt I had enough to pull it off. But I knew it was gonna be a challenging fight, because not only am I fighting, a guy so much bigger than me, naturally bigger than me, I'm also fighting the guy who everybody's fearing, and the guy who's undefeated with like a 10, 11-0 knockout win streak. And so for all those reasons, I knew it was going to be the toughest fight of all. But in order to be at the top, take down the top guy, and no one else can claim that they have a right to it. So that's why I went after him. I didn't go after Sean Porter or anybody else, because Errol was the guy. And if I wanted to claim top throne, it was through him. But I always knew that would be the most challenging fight of my career, for all those reasons, all those variables that I mentioned.
And how do you avoid doubt settling in your mind that you can't do it?
It's not in my hands anymore. At that point, it wasn't in my abilities. My body just gave up. Okay, let's just keep going through the motion. Hope something lands. Maybe we get to
and I don't even mean
take
just
a shot, and that's it. I
don't even mean just in the Spence fight. I just mean overall. How do you stop doubt from settling?
Well, I never had doubt in any other fight.
Confident.
No other fight did I ever have any slight doubt in the back of my mind or anything like that. In that fight, after 3 or 4 rounds, that's when I'm like, I'm gassed out. I can't do shit. And it was like in the 8th, 9th round. I think it was like 9th round. He put a bigger pace. He picked up the pace, put a lot of pressure. I was blocking a lot of that, but still, it looked, the activity just boom, 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 boom. So when we get to the break, to the corner, my dad was always very worried about that fight to begin with. So when he saw, he's like, hey, let's stop the fight. We're gonna stop the fight. You're not able to fight. You're not able to win. We're gonna stop the fight. And my brother and my nephew Pita and even myself, like, but he's not hurting me. Like, I'm fine. Like, he's not hurting me. He's never hurt me a single punch. Like, we're fine. And Pita said, do not leave him. He's okay. Let him finish the fight.
Let him go down
a couple more rounds. Let him go. And Robert's like, dude, are you sure you can do it? Or are you completely done? Because we don't want you to get beat, get knocked out bad. I'm like, watch me this next round. I'll pick it up a little bit just to show you. And I think the 10th round, I think it was the 10th, maybe the 11th, but I'm pretty sure it was the 10th round that I kind of picked up a little bit more, just enough to show them that I'm not hurt and that I wasn't, done. And that allowed them to feel like, okay, let's give them the next 2 rounds. And then Errol also at the last round, he probably already just felt like, you know what, it's 12 rounds. Okay, and he just kind of went with the motions the last round. He didn't do anything else.
You're considered a very patient fighter and like a super precise fighter. What's the balance between offense and defense? Because, if you get angry, obviously you're going to want to press with the offense. You know what I'm saying? But how do you balance it?
I like to be very defensive. My dad always taught me to be very defensive and very patient first. Very smart, very technical. So I always carried myself in that way. I always approached the fight in a very defensive way first. Even if I dropped my opponent, I didn't just jump all over him right away. I gotta read my opponent first before I feel the timing is right to jump on him and go for the knockout or go for the stoppage. When I would drop my opponents and they would get up and I could see it in their eyes that they're still fresh, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. Unless I noticed that their body structure, language, their eyes, everything, if there was enough there, okay, and let me put the pressure, let me step on the gas, let me get you out of here. I would always read my opponent. So I'd read their body language. I'm listening to their breathing when we're tying up. Are they really trying to push off and keep fighting? Or are they resting? Are they staying in it? How are their eyes? Are they really sharp and focused at you? Or are they starting to kind of get lazy and kind of just, are they breathing through their mouth? Or are they breathing through their nose? If their mouth is nice and shut and just breathing through their nose, they're still in great shape. If they open their mouth a little bit and they're starting to pull some air, okay, now they're getting tired, So I'm reading the body language on my opponents. So I was very patient, but I was also patient because I was able to read their body language. And when I saw enough signs that told me they're ready to go, then I'll put on the pressure and get them out.
Are you training for like counter punching, or is it more like a natural reflex, or is it part of the game plan, or like how does that?
It just depends on the fight. When you are facing a specific opponent that has a very good specific punch, then you do want to train for that, to defend against that or counter that, or avoid that punch by not giving him the opportunity to land that punch, right? So if you know that you're fighting a right-hand fighter that has a lethal right uppercut, in order to land that right uppercut, you got to be on the inside for him to land that. He's not going to throw that inside. He's not going to throw that from a far distance. He's going to have to be on the inside. So what do? Don't stay on the inside.
Easy as that.
Keep jabbing around him. Keep circling this way so that he can never land that right hand, or at least minimize the opportunities that he has. That kind of thing. So I would have natural reflexes, natural abilities, but then there's things that you want to practice for that individual opponent.
Is there any counterpunch you've ever thrown that you could remember right now where you just devastated somebody?
The one that stands out right away is when I fought Dejan Slatikanen for the WBC lightweight title. We practiced that sequence in training all camp. When it actually happened at the fight, it was in slow motion for me.
It was perfect.
It was so perfect. I remember everything like slow motion. He was a southpaw, a little shorter than me. He would come on the inside. So we practiced to land a uppercut, followed by a left hook, but at the same time use that momentum to spin him around, which allows me to wait for him to look at me. And when he looks at me, here comes that right hand. A short right hand like that. And so we practiced that
1,000,000 times.
Yeah, every day here at the gym. When we were in the fight and that happened, that it just presented itself so perfect, I'm not kidding you, it was in slow motion. I remember everything like
the
it was
movies now.
Perfect in slow motion. The uppercut followed by the hook. I take a side step. He looks at me and here comes that right hand and he's out for
that was that.
And that's it, But it was just so perfect. There's other fights that I landed good right hands or good hooks and whatnot, but that particular night, because we practiced so much, that specific sequence of punches, it made it in slow motion. So it was just perfect.
Beautiful.
It was just perfect.
I'm picturing it right now in my mind.
See, I've landed other punches against other opponents.
Other sequences.
Like solid, but it wasn't always practiced for that. It just happened to be available. And here it goes. Boom. I dropped Juanma Lopez. Right before I dropped him, my brother was telling me, step in with the jab and counter his left. Like, he's going to do that. And I do. He says, and you can go back to the replay and hear the tape, and it's exactly like that. He says, jab, counter his left, or come back with your right side. I forget the exact words, but it was so perfect because as he was doing it, I did it and I knocked him out. But that was not one of the punches that we were practicing day in, day out in the gym.
It's just an opportunity.
So it just happened. The opportunity happened and boom, there you go. And he's out. Versus this one that we practiced specifically to land those shots against that opponent. And when it happened, like I'm really telling the truth.
I'm sure everyone was in the corner like, fucking told you.
It was in slow motion for me.
I've never seen you in a presser being reckless, like talking shit or being overly disrespectful or anything. But do you think a lot of people do go overboard to sell fights? And have you ever heard of maybe me and you linking up to talk more shit, like put a lot of toppings on it to sell the fight?
Look, I've never heard of any fighters directly getting in,
Yeah.
let's do this. Nah, I've
Let's
never
go
seen
over the
that.
top,
And I've
yeah.
never heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of certain promoters asking their fighter, hey,
Add some toppings on the
add some,
shit. Put some seasoning.
excitement over here. Put some seasoning on this bitch. Like, fucking, especially if they already know that their fighter likes to be loud.
That's different.
Hey, bro, like, let's sell this a little bit more. Let's do this or let's do that. I've heard of other promoters working sometimes like that. I never was one. I never had anything like that. I just never felt that there was a need to do that. I mean, I understand why some fighters do act like that or do that. They're selling the fight. They're in a persona. They're in a character. They do it. But it just wasn't me.
That's fine.
So for me, if anybody else was doing the talking, great. You do it. You keep going. You keep doing you. I'm only gonna keep doing myself, and that's it.
I respect it. You grew up in Chiques, which I know to be a rough neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been in a street fight?
A few. It happens.
What's your record in your street fights?
Undefeated, brother.
Can you run back a street fight that you've had?
Several. We're not over there looking for fights.
Of course not.
We're not over there
You
trying
don't even
to
look
fight.
like the type.
We're not even looking to fight. Sometimes, unfortunately, you're forced in a situation, or you're put in a situation where there's no other way around it. If you got your boy getting down and you're just waiting, watching, it's a one-on-one. Okay, cool. But then his buddy comes at you, starts swinging.
Different. Nah,
hey,
yeah.
Stop. And I'm still trying to tell him, hey, chill the out, stop. And he starts swinging.
Ding, ding, ding.
And I'm missing. What am I supposed to do at that point? Down. All right, told you. You're out. Not my fault. That kind of stuff. It's happened. Not my fault. I don't try to do that.
Of course not.
It's not safe, but it's also almost like you're forced.
No, at that point, if you're already ducking and weaving,
there's no other way around it. I'm in my car leaving a restaurant late night. All these guys are coming out, and one hits my car in the front. I open my door. Hey, what the fuck? Oh, I just closed the hood. Just shut the fuck up. You're fine. And then his boy over here, yeah, what? I just closed your hood, stupid. What are you gonna do about it? It's a big dude. Like, oh shit, that ballsy like that? Yeah, I just closed the hood. What are you gonna do about it? So I come out there.
Do they know who you are in this instance?
They might not. I'm thinking
we're gonna go with might not.
I'm thinking they may not know, and they just think, oh, this
little fool,
the mother here, he's so small. What's he gonna do to me? Because these are big dudes. All these times are big dudes, and it's like
bullies.
They may think like that, like, oh, nice car, the car, hit the Lambo and over there, like, come on. Or if they know who I am, they think, oh, he can't fight because he's professional. His hands are registered as weapons, so I'm gonna sue him. Maybe that's what they're thinking. He's not gonna fight. Well, if it's self-defense, I have all the right to defend myself. And when you're swinging first, I'm gonna defend myself.
First of all, you're damaging your property. Then you're engaging in violence.
I come at him, and he starts swinging, and I sock him up. He goes down. His buddy comes and jumps me. I push him off. I knock that fool out. Third guy comes. I don't know where he came from. I never saw him. Grabbed my legs, took me down, but he doesn't know how to fight. So I jump right back up, and I take that. So I got 3 guys on the ground. Self-defense, brother. What else can I do? So
that's a culture.
Fortunately, no one came. Some other guys came and got in the way. Hey, get out of here. Hey, Mikey, you can't be doing this. Whatever. I'm like, it's not my fault. 3 tried to jump me. Get them out of here. Security from the restaurant. Hey, you guys can't be fighting. I'm like, hey, make sure they step to the side as I leave. I don't want them to throw anything in my car. They already hit my car right now. I don't want anybody doing anything to me right now as I leave. Yeah, guys, come on, get over here. And I take off.
With all that being said, for the people watching at home, what would you say the secret is to winning a street fight? Your brother said it was the jab. Do not hit me with that jab shit. Because you didn't sound like you jabbed once in these
No, I didn't jab. I
altercations.
don't jab. Nah. Look, my go-to, because it's just more natural to me, is a left hook, right cross. The left hook, right cross is something that's natural to me.
It just is what it is.
The left hook is not all the power behind it. It's more like a range, like a distance, like find a little, almost like the jab maybe, but it's more like I'm gonna hit you with it, but I'm not putting all my power behind it.
It's just to set you
Just to set up for the right cross. That right cross is the one that's
gonna put you down.
Gonna put you out. And the problem is that most guys, unfortunately, they don't know how bad I could hit them, or they don't think it could be that bad, or
technique is
critical. I could take a punch. I get down in the street fight all the time. Yeah, against other guys that don't know how to fight. Sure, you can probably take a punch from someone that not a professional, but someone like ourselves, like fighters, it's a different level. So, it's gonna be multiplied. It's just too much, for them. So it doesn't go well for them.
So your advice to the people at home is left hook, right cross?
My advice to them?
The secret to winning a street fight.
Oh man, I don't want to get in trouble for giving advice that catch them in trouble.
Your brother said a jab.
No, I think if you're in a situation where you have to defend yourself.
Yes.
Not saying go pick a fight, be the first one there. No. But if you're in a position where you have to, then first thing you got to be doing is get your ass in a boxing ring, in a boxing gym, to train and practice a left hook, straight cross, or if you're southpaw, right hook, straight,
left, yeah.
Something like that. That's all you need. You don't need any other punches. You don't need any other combinations. You don't need to do anything else. But practice those two punches, and then you'll win, 99% of those street fights out there that you ever get in. But you got to get in the ring first. You got to come in the boxing gym and train those punches. That would really be the secret. Because if you just go out there and try to do it, you don't know how to fight. You don't know how to punch. You don't know how to throw.
You're missing.
You're gonna miss. You're gonna get dropped. You're gonna get countered. You got to practice. So the secret would be go to a gym. Practice at the gym first.
I respect it. I know you got to go. So Ryan versus Haney.
I'm picking Haney. Distance goes the distance. But Haney, I want to see. But I want to see
all 12.
Yeah, but I want to see the odds. I don't know. They're probably out there already, but I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
I want to see what the odds are for Ryan by KO. I may be inclined to put some money on that.
I like it.
Ryan has the speed and the power. Haney got stunned a little bit with Linares, so that gives Ryan a chance. And depending on the odds, if it's a good enough, bet, I can put some money on Ryan by KO.
A little smart investment.
Sure.
If it's enough.
We might. If it's good enough. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it. I haven't paid attention. I haven't been looking for it.
Do you think he made a mistake by leaving Eddie Reynoso?
Look, I don't think he made a mistake, because after he left Reynoso, he went to Goosen. Goosen's also a very good trainer, so I can't say that he's less of a trainer than Reynoso is. And now that he left Goosen, he went with Derek James. Again, another very good trainer. I can't say that he's a better trainer than Goosen or vice versa. So I wouldn't say that they're mistakes. He's looking for another voice. He's looking for another trainer that can maybe teach him something different. He's in his right to look for that. He wants all the advantages, all the upper hands he can get for each fight that he's in front. So, like I said, I can't say that they're mistakes. I think they're all great trainers in their respective ways.
So if it wasn't a mistake, what are your thoughts on him switching camps, period? Or like you said, it was just for him to gain?
It's not a mistake, and it's not a problem, and it's not wrong. Each trainer brings something different to the table. Eddie might not have been available or maybe Ryan wasn't available for Eddie. Maybe Ryan in the moment was too much of the social media influencer and
Doing too much.
maybe doing too much. And Eddie maybe might say, you know what,
I'm not with this.
I'm not with this. He may be more of that strict trainer. Maybe with Goosen. Goosen is a very defensive trainer, very smart, very good at drawing up game plans. But maybe Ryan had different ideas. Maybe he wants to be more aggressive. Maybe that's why Derrick James is there, because maybe he's more of a volume puncher and aggressive, go forward. I don't know. I'm just speaking.
I feel it.
You know, but these are three great trainers in themselves. So neither one of them is less of a trainer than the other, you know?
What are your thoughts on Pitbull Cruz?
I think he looked great. I like him.
He's a bad dude, huh?
I like him. He's a bad dude. I liked the fact that he fought very, very focused all night. He was not overexcited at any point. He was not reckless. Even though he hurt Rollies early on right away, he didn't get careless. He didn't get reckless. He didn't get, overexcited. Stuck to a game plan. Consistent pressure, steady pressure, high guard. His eyes were on the prize all night. So until he finally hurt him and jumped on him enough to get the stoppage, he was doing perfect. So I like him.
I see that a lot of people are saying that he wants to fight Tank or whatever, but I also heard a murmur that they might want to put him against Matias. What are your thoughts on that?
I haven't seen much of Matias except for a few.
Just the fact that he did
clips.
what he did.
But I don't think he needs to fight Matias right now. I personally would take Cruz and defend the title multiple times and let the build up to fight a rematch with Tank. That could be a mega fight in 2 years.
Yeah, that's 3 fights away.
Both can be right there fighting around each other, maybe even common opponents, and build the fight where right now, I don't know, let's say he makes $3-4 million right now fighting Tank. He could potentially be making $10 million. Plus, each fight right now from this point forward will be $1 million, $1.5 million each title defense.
Killing it.
So let's go do 5 title defenses.
Let's go rake up a few
at $1 million each, guarantee $1 million, $1.25 million, $1.5 million. Build up like that, and then let's do the Tank fight for $8-10 million. That would be my suggestion.
I like that play.
They may have different ideas, different plans.
I'm sure when he hears this, he might be into it.
It's well, I mean that's one idea. That's one way to do it.
Definitely.
And that's similar to the way Canelo did portions of his career, where he fought a lot of the other fights just to stay busy, but making a shitload of money, and then he fought a big fight.
Yeah.
And then again,
I don't want to say a placeholder, but he fought a couple of cool fights and major. Cool fights, major.
Exactly. And that's one way to do it. And a lot of fighters have followed similar roadmaps.
I feel it.
Right now, he just became world champion. He's a hot name. He's big. All the fans there were for him, really.
Facts.
I doubt that he had as many fans that Sue or Fundora had as many fans as Cruz had.
I feel that.
Most of those fans were Cruz fans. So why not take advantage? Let's do that. You're still gonna fight him, but just push it another 1.5 years or 2 years. You know,
draw it out. Who's the face of boxing?
Still Canelo. Still Canelo right now.
I respect it.
Canelo, the face of boxing for the popularity and the accomplishments. It could be arguably, the heavyweights maybe, but they draw a lot of attention, but they've been not as active.
The super fights ain't happening for it to be that.
So Canelo's still there. Crawford is probably the best number 1 pound for pound fighter, but not the face of boxing because of popularity.
He needs to do a couple more big fights and he'll be up.
Yep.
If it's not Tank.
And I don't think he cares to be the face of boxing. I think he's happy right where he's at.
Like you said, tucked away with his family.
Yeah, he's happy. I think he's better off that way, because keeping a little bit of that privacy where not everybody knows you.
Mystique.
It's nice. Versus when you're so popular, everybody knows you can't go anywhere in public.
That's rough.
You don't have no privacy.
Before we go, your top 5 all time?
Top all time, top 5 all time?
No order necessary.
Well, I'm gonna give top 5 favorite and not just favorite but all time. I'm gonna say Floyd Mayweather number 1,
Fire.
Raul Marquez number 2, Finito Lopez number 3. Then I'm gonna go with Morales and Barrera. These are my top 5 favorite,
Personal, yep.
and also I think some of the very very best.
Of course.
Because you could have a favorite, but not necessarily the very best. But these were up there. Now in the very top 3, you gotta have Mayweather, number 1, maybe Manny, and some of these other guys. But my favorite, these right here.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
You're
Highly
welcome, brother.
appreciate it. Some of your answers were fire today.
Oh, thanks.
Fire.
Hey, they're genuine,
I feel it. Again, we're right here with the legend, Mikey Garcia, RGBA, right here in Riverside doing what we do. This is the Beyond the Label podcast. Highly appreciate y'all. Make sure you get your Shaka streetwear essentials from shakaware.com. My name is Ali Icon. We got Godsmoke on the boards. Highly appreciate y'all. We're out of here.